got Hugo. So
Ooh.
introduce us to Faria's morning.
Okay, well, she has a small room upstairs. She lives in a townhouse with her father in not a not particularly upscale district of Shackle. Um, she lives in the upstairs room next to the storeroom where there's loads of fabrics and stuff like that. Um, she kind of she at least dresses herself for bed, and she has some veiled curtains. And next to her bed, on a little nightstand on top of a pile of books, is a little silver music box, which plays sounds of birds and streams and stuff like that she uses to get to sleep. So she'll sort of roll over, squint at the sun, and gently close the music box and sit up on the side of the bed for a couple of minutes and will herself into motion.
Lovely. And I think given the kind of things Faria and her father do for a living, you're probably based in Puzzle, which is a district where a lot of kind of the artificers and people who just make practical or interesting things for a living live and work.
Cool.
Grand. So there you are. Brilliant. As you will yourself into wakefulness, you can hear the sounds of the world outside. There's like occasional hammering, occasional shouts of people kind of crying out different wares or calling after their families. It's a fairly busy kind of area where people are doing practical things. So there's all those kinds of sounds of building and working. And what do you do next?
Well, the first thing she'll do is get dressed. Her father being a tailor, she has no end of different unusual and stylish things to wear. So she'll pick something that makes her feel confident, and then sort of quietly creep her way downstairs to organize the workshop for her father to get started in once he wakes up.
Cool, super. And what are those kind of tasks of organizing the workshop? What does that look like? What does that involve?
She'll clear off the work surfaces for cutting fabric, kind of probably sweep around the floor so that his mobility isn't impeded by, chunks of offcuts of fabric or stones or bits of metal and stuff like that. She'll make sure that the water's running, because sometimes it just doesn't. She'll make sure that the pantry's stocked and that there's lots of stuff that he might need, because she may not always be in during the day if she has to buy supplies or sometimes take on messaging, like delivery jobs, if money's a little bit tight. So she'll kind of check her father's list of stuff that he's doing and see if there are any preliminary things that she can get ready for each of those.
Yeah, absolutely. I think your father has been working on like a specialized project for let's see. Yeah, for a kind of magical type who does experiments around candle. So it's a kind of heavy duty apron, but with lots of pockets for different arcane gizmos. Somewhere between like a smith's apron and a utility belt.
Okay, cool.
But they also want to look very stylish, so they asked for it to be patterned as well, kind of with an embroidery of like stars. Like the classy version of a wizard's robe. It's not got like the coloured stars, it's just a slight embroidered pattern on it.
Okay.
I'm also going to ask, as you're checking that the water's working, the water's a little kind of clunky today, so make me a Smith's Tools check to get the water running.
Ooh. I don't know what my save is for that.
I think you've got a +5 to Smith's Tools.
Okay. Cool, let's see.
Or, let's see, it'll probably be... Oh, no, sorry, it'll probably be less than that.
Oh, okay.
It'll probably be +3, because it'll be your dex plus your...
Okay, well, I got a 2 anyway, so I'm...
Yeah, there is a kind of grinding sound as you fiddle with the pipes, and a gurgling, and a few drips of sad brown water drip out of the tap. It's not looking like a good water day.
No, that's a shame.
So you might have to run to the well a couple of streets down to get some water for the day.
Okay, so I'll scrabble around for a bucket or maybe 2 buckets. Probably one because I'm not very strong. I'll make 2 trips.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you head outside, it's a lovely kind of springish day, bright sun, crisp air. The scent of kind of oil in the air, kind of a bit of smoke as well from people's workshops. And you run down the street to fetch some water. And as you go past, there's a child, probably like an adolescent, rushing by, and they go, "Oh, Faria, I was just on my way to your house."
Oh, hi. How can I help?
And this is little Teemo. Teemo is a tabaxi like yourself, but more of a feline tabaxi than a vulpine tabaxi like you. And he's saying, "Oh well, someone paid me to take a letter. It came in via the entrance in wall. It's for your dad."
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Like, he holds it up, and it's quite fancy parchment. This is not like the kind of cheap stuff you'd usually cheap scroll usually have stuff scrawled on scrap paper, with like a wax seal.
Ooh, very fancy. Sure, thank you. I guess I'll find out who it's from when he opens it, maybe.
Yeah, sure. Like, we're all very curious. But obviously, it's your business, not our business. Your business.
Okay.
But we're very curious.
Well, I should probably wait for him to open it. Really.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. I'm just like, my mum was just gonna pop the kettle on though, and there'll be steam.
Oh, damn it, steam. Okay.
I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying you should do anything or not do anything, but there will be steam and tea.
All right, Teemo. Take me to your steam.
Yeah, and Teemo takes you to their little house down one of the side streets. And yeah, their mum, slightly bigger again, Tabaxi, is just outside. They're a little smithy, and kind of on top of the what should we call it? The thing they have in the, like, on top of the furnace, they've actually got a little kettle because they figure, why double up? And it's just getting to a boil now. So there's that little whistle of boiling water in one of those oldie kettles. And she calls over, "Oh, hi, Teemo, Faria. Like, lovely to see you. How's your father?"
He's good. Yesterday was a good day, but he was tired, so he's I don't know when he'll be up today.
Oh, bless. Well, let us know if you need anything brought over, or or if you're working on any special projects for him. I know you've been looking at like prosthetic type things. If you need any metal work done for that, like, just let us know.
Yeah, thank you. I know I will at some point. It's hard. I'm trying to learn. I had a fiddle with our tap today.
Oh yeah, how'd it go?
It's a work in progress.
Well, yeah, the water around here, it's always very, very hit and miss. People always fiddling with the plumbing is the thing. People in Puzzle, they just love to fiddle. Sometimes too much, you might say.
Yeah, I definitely
Like,
agree.
the plumbing was working yesterday.
Yeah, really?
What? It didn't need fixing, but people will insist on fixing it. Anyway, would you like a cup of tea?
I would love a cup of tea. Yeah, I would love one. Thank you.
So, and they're just in front of you. There's the steaming kettle. She's about to pour. She pours a couple of cups out of it, but the steam's still coming up if you wanted to do anything with the steam.
So I'll sneak the letter over and sort of edge my claw under the wax as it's kind of heats up a little bit. And
Yeah,
pop it.
absolutely. Make me. There's definitely some kind of roll here. Probably sleight of hand.
Okay.
Um,
Woo.
or potentially investigation.
Can I do sleight of hand because I just rolled a 19?
Yes, you absolutely can.
Cool.
And I think you got +1 to that. So
Yeah,
is
so
that
20.
19 with the and another dirty 20.
Yeah.
So yeah, you steam it open perfectly, not a mark left on the parchment, and you open up this letter, and it's signed by a name you don't recognize, but it basically says, remind me of Faria's dad's name.
Aiden.
Says, "Dear Aidan, I know it's been some time since I've been in touch, since we were on campaign together, in fact. But I just wanted to write you a quick warning. It's one of the seers in my regiment has had a disturbing vision of Ramshackle, and it was vague and cryptic, but there's some trouble coming to your city, and we think you might somehow end up involved. There was a vision of some kind of lab, and that you were delivering something to some kind of item of clothing, an apron maybe, they thought, and again, it was a fragmentary vision, but there was something strange and that felt like it was almost alien, something from outside, if that makes sense there. And I don't really know how to tell you this. You didn't survive. So please take this warning, and if that sounds familiar to you, just avoid that place and that situation. Something fell and strange is going on in Shackle. Ever in your service, Quen Hildebrandt. Yeah, so you read that. You can copy it down if you want, but then you can, using a little bit of heat from the forge, you reattach the wax seal.
Yeah, I do that and try not to look too alarmed in front of Teemo and his mum.
Yeah, roll me a deception check.
17 total.
Yeah, you manage to conceal that alarm. You kind of just kind of bite your lip, and that pain kind of make you focus on that. And you focus on kind of the things around you, the heat of the forge, the scent of the fragrant tea that's just brewing in and the heat in your hands, and the worry continues in the back of your mind, but you're not showing it.
Oh, it's the commissioner wanting an update again. He's very he's anticipating this apron very much, so he's just anxious,
Yeah. Oh, these people, we get it all the time with the forge work. People are very pushy about their commissions, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Just constantly writing you, saying, any updates yet? Any updates yet? And it's been, 2 hours.
Yeah, absolutely. When you work in this kind of industry, what you want to do is just focus on the project, focus on problem solving, creating cool things. But a lot of it's just, so much of it is just expectation management, and they don't tell you that when you get into the industry.
No, she says, drinking her tea a little bit too quickly for how hot it is.
Yeah, and so you make small talk for a little bit longer, and you kind of finish your tea. She says, "Well, I won't keep you any longer. Again, best to your father, and let us know if you need anything."
I will. Thank you so much for the.
No worries. Oh, Teemo, why don't you help Faria with the other bucket of water? So Teemo runs along and helps you with a second bucket of water to kind of save you the extra trip.
Lovely, yeah. And we'll go and plug up the sink and fill that. So Aiden's got stuff to wash the cloth in and prepare it and what have you.
Yeah, super. And I think just as you've got that, got the water in the sink, and as Teemo's headed off with the extra bucket, you hear your father starting to stir.
I'm holding the letter and I don't know whether to give it to him or not. Morning?
Oh, good morning. Oh, Faria, my dear. How are we doing this morning?
Oh, fine. I think we're mostly ready.
Oh, lovely. Just give me a hand up, would you?
Yeah, sure. So good.
Cool. And how does your Faria's father get around?
He has a very sort of narrow, like slim sort of wheelchair, I guess, that helps him kind of just scoot around the warehouse area. He's also got some crutches he can lean up on if he needs to do standing work. They're kind of, I suppose, elbow crutches he can lean on and do dexterous stuff with his hands.
Yeah, cool. So I'm imagining kind of like a slightly steampunky looking wheelchair that folds up. So again, a mixture of like kind of steel and brass.
Yeah.
That kind of cool and kind of like worn canvas. And it's again, like most things in Ramshackle, it looks a bit bodged together, but it works pretty smoothly.
Yeah. Aren't we all?
Yeah. So, and your dad gets up and goes from bed using the crutches to the wheelchair and heads over to the workbench and is putting the finishing touches on the apron with your help. And it just says, "Okay, great. So, yeah, I think this will be finished fairly soon. And I should run it over to Candle later today. I don't know. They were anxious to get their hands on it and continue their work."
Why don't I take it for you?
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah, I mean, yesterday was exhausting for you, so I'd rather you rest and I'll do it. I'll take it along.
Oh, that's very. You're so good to me, Faria. I do. I'm not going to. I'm trying not to say that I must be a burden on you and all that, but I appreciate everything that you do.
Of course. I mean, I wouldn't be here without you, so it's, we give and take.
Well, quite so. Anyway, let's just get this done. Make sure it's the best job we can possibly do, eh?
Yeah, and I'll bring some nice, one of those nice sweet potato loaves back for this evening or something.
Oh, I love those sweet potato loaves. They're so dense and moist.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes, very good. Yeah, and you kind of finish off this apron, and it's done, and you you head off towards Candle to deliver it.
Cool.
And yeah, we'll cut away from you, and we'll cut to our final character, which is Wendy.
We can bleep out. I would say, try not to swear.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that we can bleep out anything that we accidentally say. Things like, heckin' is better than other words.
Where do we stand on bollocks?
We have said that several times already.
Honestly, I don't understand what you've got against priests. So, like legally, we're 100% covered on that one. I feel the precedent is set.
Okay.
But if
it's fine, we can just decide.
Yeah.
If we want as well, at some point later, we can always add in kind of in character, in game world swears.
Okay.
If that's something we want to do, and we can just establish that as we go.